Today I am going to make a very famous Sri Lankan cake, coconut cake, or we call it Bibikkan. For this recipe I am using 250 grams of coconut, freshly grated coconut. You can use desiccated coconut instead, and 100 grams of semolina, 150 grams of dates, and 150 grams of cashew nuts. And I'm using nearly 2 tablespoons of preserved ginger I finely chopped, and 60 grams of melon preserved, and 60 grams of sultana, and I'm using 50 grams of plain flour, and almost 2 cups of coconut palm treacle, coconut treacle or kithul treacle, that's up to you. You can buy the treacle from Sri Lankan shops. And 2 eggs. I'm going to separate the egg yolks and egg whites and do it separately. Then I have cardamom. I used 5 pods and took the seeds out, and 1 tablespoon of fennel seeds. I am going to dry roast this and take the powder. Then I am using 1 lemon zest from 1 whole lemon, the zest of the lemon, and a pinch of salt and baking powder, cinnamon, rose water, and vanilla. I am going to use 1 tablespoon of vanilla and a pinch of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of rose water and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And going to roast the semolina too, not very well but medium. To start this, I am going to cut the dates. You can use a food processor and chop the cashew nuts too before starting. And meanwhile, I am going to put the treacle and coconut in a pot and leave it on the stove to boil. Going to add the palm treacle into a pan, and after boiling I am going to add the coconut. Once the honey start boiling, I am going to add the coconut and make penny pole out of from that, and adding cardamom and fennel seeds into that, and going to cook this about 1 to 2 minutes and leave it to cool down. I separated the eggs and put the whites in the mixing bowl, and I'm going to beat this into soft peak. Once the egg whites come to a soft peak, take the egg whites out, and I'm going to beat actually mix everything in the mixing bowl, the same mixing bowl, but I'm going to transfer the egg whites into another bowl. Now I am ready to mix everything together into the mixing bowl. First I am going to add the already made penny pole or treacle and coconut, and into that I am going to add the dates. This is little hot, so I am going to add the dates. That will cook that a little bit too, and the raisins, and mix it a bit. Now going to add the cashew nuts, into that I am going to add the preserved ginger, then the preserved chow chow or preserved melon, then I have the lemon zest or the lemon rind, and the 2 egg yolks, now into that going to add the plain flour, and next I have already roasted semolina, little by little the semolina too. Now it's already mixed. You don't need to over mix this one or even to beat, just mixing is the only thing. And a pinch of salt, then a little bit of cinnamon. Now into the mix I'm going to add some vanilla. Vanilla will give a nice flavor. Then a little bit of rose water, quarter a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of rose water, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm adding 1 full teaspoon, and mix this again a bit. Into that I'm going to add the egg whites and just mix it like folding 1 or 2 times. That's it. Just a bit, and that's it, ready. I prepared a baking tray 12 by 6 inch, and I don't want this to be thick, that's why I selected this one. So into that I am going to add the mix. Make sure that when you do this recipe, the mix should be little wet, not very tough. When you make pineapple, when you add 2 cups of treacle there, it will be little runny, so make it little thick. Half cook that about 5 minutes. It took 5 minutes to evaporate a little bit of water. So after, I'm going to spread this. And some used to make the bibikkan or the coconut cake with jaggery. If you are using jaggery, make sure you use 375 milliliters of water to dissolve the jaggery. But I like to do it with treacle, that's why I used treacle in this recipe. And this is ready to go to the oven. Just like doing the Christmas cake or the wedding cake, I'm going to cook this on very low heat, 130, about 2 hours. I finished baking the coconut cake, and if I cut it, what I did after baking it for 2 hours, I left it in the oven without taking it out to set inside the oven. So if I cut it into, I'll cut the edges. See, it's really nice and already set well too. And I hope you will enjoy this recipe. Thank you for watching.